Anger. Anger can be good. However, there's other choices. Have a listen now, settle down and relax. Then you can thank me later.
My name is Mark Tyrrell and I'm a Director of Uncommon Knowledge. You'll need to be sitting or lying down somewhere comfortable right now. Before you begin to relax very deeply, I'm just going to say a few words about the experience of anger. First of all, it's important to say that anger has a useful function. If we're threatened, we may need to fight off an attacker to protect our own physical safety and possibly that of other people around us. Anger can motivate us to right wrongs, to stand up for ourselves, and to achieve important goals. When we're angry, we're physically stronger. We feel less pain and become free of uncomfortable feelings such as self-consciousness or uncertainty. We like the feeling that everything is clear and you're never so certain as when you're in a rage. Someone once said, "Make a speech when you're angry and you'll make the best speech you'll ever regret." So, anger does have a function in its place. However, in a complex modern world, things are often not just black and white or totally simple. When we're angry, we simplify reality. We experience what is called an emotional hijacking, which basically means that the strong emotion we're feeling hijacks your thinking ability. In other words, the angrier we are, the more stupid we become. To a very angry person, other people are just objects to be acted upon, rather than people to be interacted with. And treating people as objects has predictably damaging effects upon relationships. For a long time, people believed that it is always good to get anger out of your system. Somehow it was thought that this was healthier, that to let off steam is somehow healthy. But research shows that bottling up or letting it out makes no difference to health. It is still very unhealthy for the heart, even if you express the anger. It is getting angry in the first place that causes the damage. Anger does more damage to the heart than any other emotion, whether you bottle it up or let it out. When highly angry, the pumping efficiency of the heart can drop to up to 7%, enough to cause a heart attack in vulnerable people. Anger is a much more damaging emotion physically than, say, strong anxiety. People who are very prone to anger are 3 times more likely to suffer severe heart disease than more even-tempered people. So, not only is anger potentially damaging to relationships, it is extremely bad for your health. From a psychological perspective, becoming very angry locks you into a focused and narrow point of view because of the emotional hijack. This viewpoint will always seem valid to you while the anger continues, even if it appears ridiculous after you've calmed down. This is because anger has to work that way. In evolutionary terms, an angry state which left you too able to think would have been less effective at making you fearless and fearsome. Anger needs to make you stupid so you don't think about possible consequences. Flexible people who can see different perspectives without becoming angry and who are skilled at considering the positions of those around them have much less problems with anger. Before you begin to experience deep hypnosis, you can think of a few typical kinds of situations which typically have prompted an overly angry response from you. In other words, in what situations would you like to have more control of yourself? Maybe with particular people or in particular times. Think about that now as you get ready to relax. Now, you can make yourself really comfortable and just begin to allow your instinctive mind to learn new automatic responses. Firstly, just do a little test. Close your eyes for a few moments and just think back to a time when you were very angry with someone and you were expressing that anger to them. Just think of a time now with your eyes closed. Now get something of the sense of how that felt, the rising energy, the absolute focus on that other person, the feelings of intensity. Get something of that anger back now as you think about that time when you were really angry with that person. How could they? Get something of that feeling again. And when you've got something of that angry feeling again, you can now do something more interesting with it. I'd like you just to get the sense of drifting out of yourself into a third-person position to one side, so that you can watch that scene, that time, from the outside, seeing yourself in that time, your facial expressions, your body language, the way you are interacting or acting upon that person, like watching the whole scene on TV. That's it, just watching it from the outside. Just observing in a detached way. And as you watch that scene, seeing yourself being angry in that time, seeing the other person's reactions and responses, notice your own facial expressions and body movements. Notice how the other person is responding. Just watch objectively their facial expressions and responses. Now really learn and notice something about that time that you'd never really noticed before. Drifting even further away perhaps, seeing it more distanced. Notice how, when you just view it from the outside in this way, you feel so much calmer and more relaxed about it. Outside of it, really notice calmly and objectively the elements to that time that you'd never noticed before. That's it. Learning things from the outside. Now, everybody's body knows instinctively how to relax deeply. Even if people don't know that their bodies know how to rest comfortably. It's part of being human. The ability to be master of our own emotions, not to be led by them like some kind of slave. So now, when you're very calm and the body is relaxed and comfortable and the mind is serene, and even you notice that breathing in a certain way, calmly and comfortably, what would it be like, I wonder, to observe yourself looking so calm and at ease, with those facial muscles relaxed and smoothing over as they rest more deeply. Almost as if you can send a wave of pure calm down into those hands and around all those muscles now. That's it. In your mind, notice what it's like to start standing up to that anger, to have control over it for a change. You could notice being at the very start of a situation which in the past would have made you lose it to anger. even notice now the beginnings of anger rising in this typical situation. Just notice the beginning of starting to feel angry about something. And now notice a sense of just drifting out of it as you know how, and seeing it from the outside, and everything instantly calming right down. That's it. Now, experience that again. Your unconscious mind is going to get very good at this. That's it, just getting the very first initial feelings of rising anger in a situation or with a particular person, starting to feel angry. And now again noticing the anger suddenly cooling and calming as you drift out of the experience and get a wider perspective. See yourself from the outside. And just view the whole scene from the outside, cool and calm, master of yourself. That's good. And in your mind, you can wander into a very calming space, like walking in a dream and discovering some absorbing inner landscape to explore and begin to find peace within. And as I count from 1 to 10, you can become more aware of such a soothing, resourceful, and comforting place in this inner world of healing, peaceful rest. And 1, that's it, soothing and resting deeper. And 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. As that rest and calm sweeps deeper and deeper. And 6, and 7, and 8, and 9. What it's like to have complete relaxation. And 10. That's good. Now, other people in our lives can be precious, fragile gifts, and all gifts are ultimately temporary. And there is a real strength in gentleness. And what I want you to notice now, over the next minute and a half of clock time, as you relax even deeper, is all those times when you feel so much calmer in all types of times where before that would have been tantrums, and you can now become bigger and stronger than that puny anger. So notice in your mind right now lots of different times, being in lots of different types of times, where before you would have been angry, but now you keep your own mind, keep your head, and remain calm and detached. Notice those situations from the future right now in your mind. And you know, it reminds me of the story about the proud, young Japanese samurai warrior who hadn't yet mastered his own anger impulses and was a slave to them. He climbed a great mountain to speak to the old sage who sat on top of the mountain. It was said that this sage was the wisest man around and that no one could beat him in a fight. But now he was old and frail. And reaching the top of the mountain in the cold, clear air, the arrogant young man said to the old one, "Tell me, old man, about heaven and hell. I must know about them." And the old man looked at the young warrior contemptuously and coldly replied, "I would not waste my time with you. You are nothing but an uncouth lout." Of course, the young samurai instantly became enraged, and he drew his sword to strike the old man down. But before he did so, the old man said calmly, "In answer to your question, that is hell." The samurai immediately saw the truth of this, regained control of himself, and apologized and thanked the master. And the wise one looked at him at this point and said, "And that, my son, is heaven." And you can find yourself really noticing being in an old situation, but just responding with complete calm and dignity and a clear mind, like that pool of water which reflects reality much better when it's calm, when its surface and depths are calm and tranquil. And the expression "getting a grip on oneself" really means take charge of yourself and master that anger. Don't let it spoil things for you and those around you anymore. So right now, notice being in an old situation, but responding with complete calm and mastery. Good. And for now, you can just start to awaken, coming back to the room. That's it. Beginning to feel wide awake and refreshed. Counting backwards from 5, that's it. Becoming more alert, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. That's it. Opening those eyes and wide awake. Excellent. And remember, the more you experience this session, the more benefits you're going to notice. Remember also to check out other useful and associated sessions from hypnosisdownloads.com, such as instant stress relief and stay calm with that person.